There we go.
Oh, we're live.
Yes, we are. All right. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. At least it's afternoon for me. And
It's morning for me.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So, welcome to this live stream. I haven't streamed in a while. It's been some time, so I figured I would do one again. And today I'm joined by Nathan, or as you guys may know him as Nerd Bubblegum. Um, but he
That
recently,
is correct.
yeah, he did recently change his channel name to just his regular name. So,
Yeah, some people were a little confused about that, but I thought I'd do it now before lots of people would notice.
hmm yeah. So anyway, the link to his channel is in the description. So go and check it out if you haven't. He's a puzzle modder. That's I guess that's primarily what you do on your channel. And
That is correct.
yeah, so
Mods for days.
today, I figured that we would answer some questions about puzzle modding because that's something that both of us are very into. So I figured we could answer some of your questions as far as what puzzles to do when you're first getting started, or any questions that you have really. Um, I don't think we'll be able to answer all of them because some things we probably don't want to say as far as like puzzles that we're thinking of making in the future or stuff like that. But
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give all of that away.
yeah, yeah, just like general questions like that we'll be answering. So yeah.
All right. So what
So
so what are you doing today? For starters, you got that puzzle that you're stickering?
oh yeah, yeah, I'm stickering the 11 by 11. I'm not sure if I will on the stream because I kind of have to be focused to do that.
Oh yeah.
So but yeah, I've been
Working on your Tony Fisher aim.
I've been restickering all of my big cubes. So I've got the 8 by 8 done, which looks like really nice now. And
What shades are you using?
it's let's see, white, red, fluorescent green, fluorescent orange, and fluorescent yellow, and sky blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. I love
So,
sky blue.
hmm yeah, it looks very nice. So, and then also have the 9 by 9 over here, which I just restickered. And the stickers that were on this were actually V Cube shades, which is kind of funny.
Oh wow, that's
um,
that's ironic.
yeah, yeah, that's kind of why I did it, but it's been that way for a long time, and they don't really look that good on Shang Shell puzzles. I wonder why. Um, and then I also just finished the 10 by 10, which also looks nice.
I
So
still need to get a 10 by
11 by
10.
11 is next.
My collection goes straight from 9 by 9 to 11 by 11. It's stupid.
Yeah, yeah. They need to make a 12 by 12. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Or we need to make a 12 by 12.
That would definitely be a great project.
Yeah. So, um, anyway, I'm not sure what I'm going to be solving today, if I'm going to solve a puzzle or not. Maybe this Master Killaminx, because I haven't solved it before.
Oh yeah, that's a real tough one when you get to the last couple of edges,
Yeah.
because when you think about the adaptation of the 4x4 parity algorithm, it doesn't really work when you don't have a single back face.
Mm-hmm.
Have you solved it before?
I have not, but I saw the Gigaminx. And I
Yeah,
got,
as
I
of
was,
last night.
yeah, yeah. I was lucky enough to not have edge parity, but the solve of this was actually pretty straightforward. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. But it does turn really bad, so maybe I'll try and lube it. I'll probably just use
You
some
may get some
CRC.
center pops.
Okay, I figured that much, but I'm just gonna see if I can use some CRC and make this thing turn a little bit better. Um, oh come on. This little nozzle does not want to go in.
You can do it.
Oh man.
I never really bothered with lubes or particularly CSC or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's
Yeah.
just me though.
Oh yeah, I have regular cubicle lube, but I don't really feel like pulling that out right now. Oh wait, there we go. I got it.
I need to get some cubicle lube.
Oh yeah, I would get weight 4 and 5 to start with because those are good ones for cores and pieces. Like they're pretty universal.
I imagine they are. I trust your judgment. Of course, I don't know anything of that.
Yeah, if you get like something like speedy, you have to be very careful with it because a little bit too much and it does the very opposite of its name.
Oh yeah.
So um, yeah.
Speedy loop slows it down.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have a lot of cubes that I've had to wipe out most of the speedy because it's just super gummy and slow.
Yeah, damn. I've heard that Shengshao is going to bring out a Master Killer Minx. I'd really love to get my hands on one of those because if it's anything like the original 4x4 that they did and all of their other Minx puzzles, it should be damn fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've heard about the Killer Minx or the 2x2 Mega Minx, as they're calling it, it looks fantastic. So I'd really love to get my hands on one of those, maybe even model one.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm just gonna, I guess, keep putting a little bit in each of these intersections.
You're not gonna like take it apart and try doing the core.
Oh no.
You could try and do like a ball in a cube, like Tony Fisher's 4x4.
I think that would be way too complicated.
But on a dodecahedron.
Oh.
Dodecahedron mods are awesome.
Yeah, it's like as soon as you put it in there, you also gotta use like some compressed air and just dry it out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought to do that.
Now it turns good, because it basically until it dries, it's gonna make it actually slower.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes you can make it dry faster with some compressed air. I'm losing a lot of power with this though. I'm almost out.
It's like deafening me too.
Oh really?
Yeah. Okay. Ah, Jesus! Oh wow. That sucked. That was like when I accidentally play one of the Moush's videos and I didn't realize that I had the volume on full. And then he starts off by smashing the table. Freaks me out.
Oh, is Crazy Bad Cuber here? Sorry, I haven't been. Yeah, he is. Oh, hello. I haven't been.
There is a chat.
Yeah, I haven't really been watching it, but okay. So a couple of these sides are finger trickable now, but a few of them are still really stiff.
It's been a long time since I last solved mine. I remember I broke my first one, so I had to get a second one because I tried modding it into like a mini spherical Gigaminx. Because when you have a look at all of the internal mechanism, you end up with like a spherical Gigaminx underneath the external pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh man, everybody's freaking out.
Why?
Because Dan's in the chat.
Oh damn. It's like I felt really bad a little while ago. I was in one of Maggie's streams. I was just kind of in the chat, and people kept asking me questions as opposed to her, so I had to leave.
Yeah. That happens to me when I join streams. Everybody's like, "No way!" And
I think you're actually just getting like a second account just so I can watch streams and enjoy them.
Oh yeah. Oh no, this side won't turn now. Okay, there we go.
Oh no.
Yeah, sometimes it'll bond the pieces together, and then you have to like break the bond.
Do you know, I used to swear by MF8, but now opposed to Shengshao and their quality, I'm not into them as much anymore. Like they still do the Pedaminx, and particularly this mod they still do the Pedaminx fantastically well in all of the higher order puzzles, but stuff like the particularly 4x4 or 6x6 mechanisms, I'm not a fan of.
I see. So a few of these sides turn well, but oh no! See how like stuck this one is?
Oh yeah.
It's like oh no!
Is that bonded to some of the pieces?
Yeah,
oh yeah.
It's stuck to something.
That's what I meant by center pops. They are really terrible centerpieces.
Oh no! What's it stuck to now? I'm just gonna try and force it. Oh god!
No, don't force it. Rule number 1: don't force it.
Mm-hmm. It seems.
I think you got a misalignment of the internals.
Is that even possible?
It may have twisted or caught on something. Turn the faces around it, and you should be able to figure out what's binding it.
Oh yeah, see this one doesn't turn either.
Oh no. What's happened?
I don't know.
No!
I can turn like the inner layers, but these outer layers are stuck. This one turns.
Well, there goes the solve.
Oh, is Landon here too? Yep. Man, everybody's here.
Damn. Unstickering this 7x7 sucks. I'm surprised at how little residue the cubicle shades leave behind. That's one thing I really like about their sticker material. Have you ever noticed that?
Yes, I have. It makes unstickering the higher order ones.
Yeah, like there is not a lot of there's a little bit, but it's nothing compared to say Moyu, and like that weird gummy stuff underneath the yellow stickers. I never really understood.
I see. So yeah, you can leave your questions in the chat if you want, and I guess we'll try and be keeping up with it, and doing answering your modding questions.
Yeah.
What if Casey Neistat just like shows up?
Casey Neistat shows up. I was watching these videos the other day. When I came back from holiday, I had to kind of stock up on all of the footage that I missed.
Oh yeah. And why won't these faces turn? This is really annoying.
Have you tried loosening it?
Yeah, I have, but it's like, what is it catching on?
You could watch one of my really cringeworthy early videos about how to fix it.
I did actually.
Did you?
All right, I'm gonna try.
And I sounded like 12 years younger, and I'm really optimistic about my 7 subs that I had.
No. I think I may have found the problem. Let me see if I can get a few more pieces out. Oh, this thing does not want to come apart very easily.
I love doing that to this.
Oh yeah,
2x2 5x5 thingy that I still haven't figured out a name for.
That's fun to do with just like a regular.
So how did you when you did the 10x10 barrel? How did you extend the faces?
Okay, so for the here I'll show you. Actually,
so you said something about Karin puzzles.
I wish I used his method, is what I was basically saying.
Oh yeah.
So let's say let's move this out of the way. Let's say for these middle layers here, right? I extended it up by using 3 layers of plastic sheeting, just glued on top of each other. But they were just tiny little pieces. And then what I did is I glued them on, and then I filled the rest of it with epoxy, like around the edges, And then for so that was 3 layers of plastic sheeting. For these layers here, I used 2, right?
Yeah.
And then for these layers, I used 1. And
that's cool.
And so you can see
I tend to avoid it.
Yeah, so you can see how with these layers, actually, it starts out by being a little bit above, but then curves down below. So it's cool.
It's like when I did the 9x9 that I've just recently stickered here, like you can see the Olsing on the edges because I didn't bother with any extensions. So you end up with this really strange sort of Olsing effect that comes across the first and second layer inwards on either side, which is kind of cool. I kind of prefer it that way. The puzzle is still very stable, and I think this turned out very well. But I need to expand onwards to extending pieces because I'm not very good at it, and I would like to get better. So definitely want to try that sometime soon.
Where is my knife? Darn. Because I think there's this centerpiece that's kind of halfway popped out, and I need to like pop it back in. So I need something to do that with. This whole like right side of left side of my desk is just covered in cubes right now.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I still haven't gotten my desk fully set up yet from the move. Yeah, I'm just gonna use this Allen wrench, see if I can jam it back in there. Uh,
No, what's happened? I can't see the chat.
really?
Oh damn, that sucks.
Oh, is everyone spamming W? Darn it! This happened the last time I streamed. This is
Are there
annoying.
any questions? Because I can't see the chat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would be answering questions.
Oh man, everybody's talking about the people that are in the chat. Derpy, Landon, and Dan are here, so everybody's like, just freaking out.
I'm gonna quit my Skype because
Yep,
someone's.
everybody's just saying W. What would be some simple mods to begin with other than Fisher that would be good starting cubes for other mods?
Well, I like the really simple 3x3 mods as great sort of starter out modifications. If we're not talking about the Fisher Cube or the octagonal barrel, because I suppose they'd be in the same classification, then you can always try bandage mods, even though I don't like them that much. One really cool mod that I've got a video coming out tonight, I think, is the YJ Fisher Cube that you can get. You can actually make a house cube with it, which literally requires nothing other than piece swaps. So you end up with a pretty fantastic puzzle just from that. But the whole idea is with modding is to kind of go out of your comfort zone to the point where you start to learn things that you wouldn't otherwise know. Because the more that you learn, the more that you can do, and it's kind of an invaluable thing if you try something that you didn't otherwise think that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would suggest to start out with, is just explore using milliput, because it's a fairly cheap and easy to get material that you can pretty much buy on eBay if you can find it for like $15 for a little box, and that that really opens up a lot of different possibilities. Like extensions, maybe barrels. You can fill pieces. You can extend pieces outwards. You make your puzzles look a little more professional. And it's definitely something to try that isn't too far out of the realm of possibility for someone that's never modded before. So it's a very useful thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, this is really annoying. So I figured out it's not that corner.
Oh yeah.
It's something else, and I think I may have found the problem here. It's somewhere in here. Somewhere. Okay. See what's going on here.
I still can't believe that I totally screwed up the time difference between you and I. So I ended up waking up at like 6 a.m.
Oh no.
I was like really stupid because I converted the time for you, but I didn't realize that I'd changed my little sort of American clock thing that I have on the top to your time. So when I was converting, I was 2 hours off. At least it was 2 hours early rather than 2 hours late.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Which is also why I woke up 2 hours early anyway.
Okay. I think some other people are asking like what cubes to use to begin modding, and best one is the Guanlong for 3x3, definitely.
Well, I wouldn't actually say that it's the best. It depends on what kind of modification you do. The main reason that I use the Guanlong is because it is both cheap and you can also buy it in bulk from Z-Cube, and you end up with a puzzle that costs like 86 cents per puzzle if you buy like 20.
Well, the thing is I really like the mechanism actually for modding.
Yeah?
It's very forgiving and it's pretty easy to work with.
That is true. And the more puzzles you have, the more spare pieces you have in case you totally screw something up, which is definitely something useful. And I would say that from 5x5 upwards, Shengshao is fantastic to use for the N-by-N puzzles and also for the Minx puzzles. The Gigaminx by Shengshao is a fantastic puzzle to mod with. When I made the Gigamoid, which I just recently sold, I really loved just how forgiving the mechanism was. And it was so forgiving that I could actually make the faces flat if I really wanted to. It's just that I've got the stickers for a pillowed version, so I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon. But if I was to say for sort of easy mods for people to begin, I would say the YJ Guanlong for the 3x3 is fantastic. And as opposed to YJ, I would say for the 4x4 and the 2x2, which I don't really kind of delve into in terms of modifications because I don't like modding even layered puzzles, Moyu actually makes some pretty damn stable cubes, so you can cut into them pretty easily. For 2x2, I would stay away, as far away as humanly possible from the Shengshao 2x2 because the mechanism underneath the cube is absolutely horrible. You'll need so much epoxy just to fill all of those gaps that it's not even worth your time. That's why I failed making a 2x2 barrel twice. I can't make a 2x2 barrel, but I can make an 11x11 barrel. There you go.
Yep. This is really bugging me.
Is it like completely seized solid now?
Yeah, see this face, this one, and let's see, are there any other ones?
I'm so annoyed that I can't see the chat.
Try refreshing.
No, I'm not refreshing because I'll screw it up.
No, you're not gonna. It's not gonna screw up the stream. Oh man, I wonder if I should just like take it apart and put it back together again and hope that that fixes it. Why did I move again? Because I needed to. Everyone spam face reveal. Oh, it's so stupid.
There we go. That should have worked. Let's see if it works now. No, didn't work.
What was your first puzzle mod?
My first puzzle mod is also my first failed puzzle mod, and that was a kind of botched Tetramix. Tetramix, for those that don't know, is effectively just a Pyraminx without the free turning caps on top. And instead, you're supposed to replace it with a sticker. And when I tried to do it, I also removed the part of the puzzle that held onto the screws. So I ended up with a puzzle that just fell apart every time you try and turn it. So that was my first learning experience in modifications as well. The first puzzle that I properly succeeded in building is one of two puzzles. That was a fused cube and a edge bandaged 3x3. Those were kind of, that's a terrible puzzle to show you with. It was a fused edge block that I had sort of glued together and filled all of the pieces, and I cut my own stickers for. And then there was the fused block as well. And they were fantastic puzzles. I really liked them. And then I sold them. And that's kind of what got me into modding as a kind of business for at least a small amount of time until I stopped doing that. And, they taught me a lot about using epoxy, which I thought I knew enough to make a Hexaminx, but I didn't. So I totally screwed up the Hexaminx mod, and I never went back. And one day I am going to go back to that mod, and I'm going to finish it. And you do it properly too.
I see. So you just don't care if there's a mass-produced version, pretty much, right?
I don't care if there's a mass-produced version. In fact, I have a real problem with buying mass-produced versions of modded puzzles, particularly the Megamorphics, which I was hesitant about buying to begin with because I wanted to make it myself, but I figured that I wouldn't be able to make it as clean and perfect as the mass-produced version, so I decided I'd just get one until I decided to make it myself. And one day I'll make one of those as well. The Morphings puzzles are extremely difficult, at least for me, but I should definitely be taking my own rule of stepping out of my comfort zone in order to build them. So one day I will try one of those, but not just yet.
I see.
There we go. So that looks like it's turning a little better.
Yeah, on the faces that can turn, but still haven't figured out why the other ones won't move.
Maybe you should try that another time.
Yeah.
Try David's gear cube over there. I can see you got David's gear cube. Can you solve David's gear cube?
I can if I look up a tutorial.
Or the Polo cube before he changed his name, Alex Polonsky. It was originally was, and then it became David's gear cube for some reason.
I see. Why did he change his name?
I do not know. In fact, I don't think anyone knows.
Weird.
I got to send an email to Wasco later today.
Yeah, it does turn better now, but
maybe have to pipe mod it.
Oh my gosh, one of my friends is I tried to get one of my friends into cubing, and he said, "Can you use WD-40 to lubricate a cube?" And I said, "No." And then he just texted me saying, "That's what you're doing on your stream is using WD-40."
No, CSE.
It's not WD-40.
Although I am at fault of using WD-40 to begin with because I thought, hey, it's silicon, it'll work. No, it doesn't. Although it's great for Rubik's brand. because they are very flashy on the inside and they have sharp leading edges. So it kind of wears down the plastic and it makes it really easy to turn.
This is really not good. Why is this happening?
Oh my God. What's binding it together? Is it just like a big piece of flashing or something?
I have no idea. It can't be flashing because it's binding 3 layers. I think these 3 layers.
Get your knife and force it between the pieces, and it should be able to prise them apart.
Well, I can't find my knife. That's the thing. It's like
oh.
It's somewhere in this jumble of puzzles over here, and
that's why you don't have a modding setup right now, because you just moved.
Oh boy, I don't know where it is. Anyway, I'm spending way too much time doing this, so I'm just gonna kind of put it aside for now. So more questions.
Ooh. I really damn wish I could see the chat. I don't know why it's not working. Doesn't matter. Who else is talking?
Oh yeah. The video that I posted yesterday of Chris dabbing.
I love that. Someone's going to have screenshotted that. Oh damn. I really need to reuse this.
Okay. How much US dollars does it take to perform the 3x3 barrel? I don't know.
Well, when you're talking about the cost of materials, the stickers, the and the puzzle itself, you're looking at, like, say if you just wanted to buy it for one modification, you'd want a box of Milliput for starters. You'd want some sticker materials, so you'd probably want to go to Cubicle and buy like a small square of each. And you'd also want the puzzle itself, which I don't know how much a YJ Guanlong is on its own, maybe like a couple dollars. So you're probably looking at around $30 all up, which isn't that good. But the whole idea with buying a box of Milliput is that you're able to make more than one. So I'd recommend using what you have to make like 3 or 4, because you can make 3 or 4 with a box of this. You can probably make more, and then, hey, sell them or give them to your friends, because it's great modding experience. And the best thing is that if you screw up, you still have 3 more attempts, so that's definitely something useful to try.
Let me see, what else do we have?
I got so much crap on the bottom of my coffee cup because I use it in the garage so much that it's like formed its own new bottom ring.
Oh, wow.
I love this coffee cup. It was given to me by one of my friends in university.
What does a nerd bubblegum taste like?
Well, you'll have to find out. Let's move on. Oh, that's like literally the worst pickup line. Hey, baby. You want to know what nerd bubblegum tastes like?
Oh, no.
Okay, let's get our minds out of the gutter, would we?
What about a belt sander and Dremel? Those are very good tools to have for more advanced mods. Dremels even are good you can find Dremels for very cheap. My first Dremel was, I think, $30.
My first Dremel was this drill with a sanding bit.
Oh, nice.
Wasn't even a drill. I was literally holding it and operating it with my pinky like that, and I was dremeling a puzzle like that.
All right, nerd bubblegum. How fast can you solve a 3x3?
Not fast, okay? I can get under a minute if I really try, because I don't know any speed cubing method out there at all. At best, I have a refined beginner's method. So I am literally terrible. Like, I've got speed cubes. I don't even know what this one is. It's a Cyclone Boys thing, I think it is. And I could probably solve this in like 58 seconds, I think, or something like that. The fastest time I ever got was 28 seconds. Okay, that's the fastest I ever got.
Was that using a hand scramble?
Yes.
That doesn't count.
Doesn't it? Oh, for God's sake.
No, technically it doesn't count if you're using hand scrambles, but it doesn't really matter.
There's so many rules that I don't understand, though. Like, I mean, it's cool to the people that do it, but it's not for me. I mod puzzles. I build puzzles. That's my thing.
So I'm scrambling up the mix-up cube. I haven't solved this thing yet. I'm going to see if I can figure it out.
Do you know, when we were talking the other night about the mechanism, it's a variation of the handy cube
Really?
by Oscar, you know, which was designed for OH, one-handed.
Oh, okay.
So basically the inner layer turned very freely, and the mix-up is kind of like a variation on that, which is a really cool and interesting mechanism that I quite enjoyed having a look at.
All right. JR, how does it feel to have Nerd kill your 10x10 barrel?
We've been through this.
I don't care at all. I mean,
don't care.
It's not like something that I would get mad about.
I think you were more annoyed at the fact that so many people thought you cared.
Yes, that was the most annoying part.
Like so the thing with mods is that they were all going to be broken. Tony Fisher's record 3x3, the world's largest 3x3, that's going to get broken at some point, you know? It's like, I think you should be proud to have held it for almost, I think, over a year. I think is how long you held it for.
Yeah, and it's not something I was particularly like proud of either. Like, it's not like I would go around saying, you know, hey, I have a world record largest barrel cube. Like, it's not how I introduce myself or whatever.
That's it's funny because I told some people that the 11x11 barrel that I made was a record, and they say, did you get a call from Guinness? They don't care about that sort of stuff.
Know,
maybe they
That's
do.
The thing is, so I tell my friends about that sometime because they'd ask, and they'd say like, "Wait, you're a record holder?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess."
Yeah, kind of. Like, I guess.
Yeah, kind of. You know. But yeah. How long did it take to make the 10x10 barrel? Solid building hours, probably like 30 hours, 30 or 40, or no, because I cut all the stickers, so more like 50 hours. But it was over the course of like over a year because I stopped.
Over a year, dang.
I stopped working on it for like 8-9 months, and then I kind of picked it up again. And it's because I thought that I had failed on the extensions, because they were really, really bad in the beginning. It took quite a bit of damage control to kind of fix them and make them good again.
I think that's how I'd feel if I was to extend the same way. That's why I try to avoid extending.
Yeah, see, the 10x10 barrel was pretty ambitious because it's the first puzzle I had ever extended.
And you chose to do it on a 10x10.
Yep, because I'm a very smart person.
Oh, damn.
So people are asking about Pokemon Go. I don't play it because I'm not into Pokemon.
I don't play it either, just because I value my free time.
Well, I just don't like Pokemon. I never found it to be that interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sure there's gonna be so many people that like are gonna freak out. It's like, yeah, big deal.
I like Pokemon, but I'm not. I don't understand a lot of like the lore behind it. Like, I didn't watch the shows. I just kind of played it a little bit. I do like it though.
Yeah. So I'm kind of trying to solve this thing and figure out.
Do you know how to solve it?
I do not. So I'm just kind of guessing here. And I've almost got the white layer though.
Those are some weird shades.
Yeah, these are, I think, Fangshi shades, and it's because I don't like the diet or the. I didn't want to put my color scheme on it for whatever reason. I just didn't feel like it.
Oh yeah. Do you think they'd let you compete in 3x3 with that if you desired?
Probably. I don't see how it would break any. Oh wait, no, there is one rule where it's like you can't have it do any other special moves that would allow you to solve it faster or something like that.
Okay, so there's no like modifications allowed on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining someone doing mix-up moves.
Yeah.
Just like, what are you doing? How are you even doing that?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
All right. I really have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of guessing. So I have one face, and now I don't know what to do to not break.
That's like
this
what
face.
people say when they have the quote Rubik's cube, as non-cubers will always call the 3x3. They'll say, "Look, I got one face. I'm like 1/6 of the way there." Yeah, no, you're not. You're like a billionth of the way there. Who else is talking in chat? There must be someone asking questions.
Yeah, sorry, I've been paying attention to the solve too much. All right. What is your least favorite WCA puzzle? Square one.
It's square one too, actually. Yes.
What is the
I genuinely
easiest
dislike
mod?
it.
What is the easiest mod you or Nathan could recommend involving mega mixes? Definitely the Mega Mate. That's super easy.
That is very, very easy, although that does involve 2 Megaminxes rather than 1. If you only have 1 spare Megaminx, then I would seriously recommend trying the Megamoid puzzle. You don't necessarily have to fill the pieces. You can sand it down so that you don't have to fill the piece. I should probably make a video about that at some point. Actually, yeah, I might do that. But that'd be a great mod to try out. The Megamoid is a really, really simple mod, and it's got a really interesting solve to it as well. So it's kind of like a win-win.
All right.
Ooh, you're struggling there.
Oh wait, do I have it? Oh no.
Oh,
that needs to move up there. I'm trying to get all the centers done. I'm not sure if that's how you're supposed to do it, but I have no idea. How many mods do you have?
As in, how many do I own, or how many have I would say how many I have with me right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. As to how many I've made, over 100, easy. Over 100, but I wouldn't know how many exactly. But over 100, definitely. Not unlike Tripem scale, where, but like over 100, surely.
Yeah. Hold on. I think I'm onto something.
He's onto it.
Haha. Oh no. They kicked out the red one though. Okay, I give up. I don't know how to do this.
Oh damn.
Nerd bubblegum desk reveal. Oh no.
Okay, so we got this stuff. We got my cup. We got one of my cameras, and I'm gonna hide that because it's a reveal of a puzzle. I've got like barrels over here, and like microphone there, light up there, which blinds everyone, and puzzles over on the other side. I'll do a desk reveal another time.
I see. Most frustrating mod? The most frustrating mod that I've ever made, probably the 1x2x3, and I say that because I've never finished one, and it caused me so many hours of frustration trying to figure out how it works.
My most frustrated mod, but I did have a solid attempt at that I totally failed with. Like, Ray Kippy made a great tutorial on it, but it's not as easy as he thinks it is. I know. Although my most frustrating puzzle, that's a good question. I would say my most frustrating puzzle would have to be my 2x2x3 because I really, really screwed that up. And some people said in the comments that it wasn't a failure, but I still consider it to be a failure, and I haven't even bothered to decorate it with stickers because of that. I wasn't happy with how it turned out, and I'd really like to revisit it at another time. But yeah.
Oh, people want me to dab now. See, the problem with that is you would need a bit of a different angle, which I can't really do.
You just put both of your hands across the screen like that.
Just go like that. Like, I don't know. Oh no. Chat is just filled with dab now. That's just fantastic. Um,
Dab, go dab, go dab. It's your birthday.
uh, could one make a Megamoid with a stickerless Megaminx? Definitely.
Yeah, you could. It look like crap, but you could.
Yep.
You can do anything with a stickerless puzzle. It's just a matter of how it turns out. You know, you're gonna have to use a lot of spray paint if you're gonna make that look perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Why is there
I
not a
think he means
12 by
it. Could
12?
you make it like I think he means could you make it actually like stickerless, like a
Oh,
stickerless Megaboy puzzle? To which case I would say yes as well, but you'd have to paint very very specifically and
hmm.
strategically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And as opposed to why is there not a 12 by 12, I would say because the even layered puzzles are notoriously much more complex than the odd layered puzzles, despite the fact that a 13 by 13 exists. Uh, the actual act of
Mm.
turning it, oh, you screwed that up. The actual act of turning it into a 12 by 12 from a design point of view is something that needs a lot of prototyping and it takes a lot of time. And as who would do it, Sheng Shao or Moyu, I do not know, but I'm sure they'll both have a try at it at some point. But you know, this is what we're doing now. We're in sort of like the release of their latest puzzle is over. Everyone's got it. We've reviewed it, and now we're waiting for the next one. So hopefully, it doesn't take 2 years like the 11 by 11.
Yeah, well, we're still waiting on the 15 by 15 from OU.
We are, yeah. We got like one picture of the mechanism CAD and like a picture of the mold like a year ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So we need
So
something new.
someone asks, I want to try and mod a cube. I was thinking of making a 5x5 barrel. My school was willing to let me use all of their tools. Should I? Absolutely.
Yes.
If you have access to
Yes.
those tools, then you should definitely give it a shot.
I remember using the disc sander and the belt sander in my woodwork shop at high school, and that was really what inspired me to get my own belt sander with my own money, which I didn't have a lot of at the time, and start modding. You know, that it's like once you kind of get the hang of doing it with someone else's tools, it will force you to kind of get your own. And the moment you get your own, you find so much more freedom with modding, and effectively you can just take it to the next level. So
I made
it's
I
definitely
made
something
the
to do.
7x7 barrel with my dad's really crappy, kind of like a belt sander, except the belt was like maybe that wide and about
Oh
that
yeah,
long. It was really tiny,
that's
and
how I made my first spherical Megamix.
yeah, it basically you had to mount. It had a vise on it, and you had to mount it to the side of the desk, and then it like tilted around and moved around and stuff. But I made the 7x7 barrel using that, and then after that, I got my full sized one, which I need to get a new one because that thing's
There's
falling
7x7
apart.
barrel here that I haven't stickered yet.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of want to make another one, but I don't know. It probably would turn out better than the first one. I don't know.
It was such a shame that it got stolen.
Excuse me. Yeah, it was. That was really my fault, though. I was basically fangirling because I was about to meet Felix Zendigs, and I completely left my bag behind. Um, and then I went back to get it, and it was not there.
I hope I'm not like the only person at nationals this year that's just like, oh, Felix is there. I could care less. I like Felix. He's cool. He's a cool guy, and we've seen him on TV here. But he's a speed cuber, and I don't speak that language.
Oh yeah, he's a very cool guy. I remember when I first met him, I was like going up to just talk to one of my friends, and then I looked
Oh, yeah.
inside this circle of people that the person was talking to, and I was like, "Wait, is that Felix?" I was like, "No way!" I can't believe it. I was fangirling so hard. It was pretty crazy. I'm sure if he was watching this, he would remember me because I made quite a big deal about it.
Oh yeah.
um, let's see. Wapo.
Wapo.
About that. Can you make a 1x1 barrel? Nathan has a video
Yeah,
about it. You should go and
I've
check
done that
it out.
already.
Um,
It's actually funny. I actually get people asking me questions like 20-30% of the time. They'll ask me to make a puzzle, and I'll just link them the video of me making it.
yeah, yeah. So you know what I was thinking of the other day, or I think it was actually you that brought this up, was a 1x1 cross cube made out of
That
like.
is correct. Yeah.
So basically, you just take like a core that has all of the centers attached, and just
I actually did that this morning before you got on Skype with a void cube. So I actually put a Guanlong core inside of WordCube, and it turns just fine.
Really? That's weird. Yeah, because it was based off of my really, really terrible design.
Let's look at it because I really want to laugh.
my
Ready,
1x1x3. Okay, you want to know how I made this? What I did? These two pieces here are centers, and this is a core. And I took the two centers and screwed them into a core, and then filled everything with.
Oh God, dude!
It's the worst way you can. But see, you can see
it's
like
so terrible. It's actually perfect.
Mm-hmm. So
like I love it though.
The pieces have caps, and there's a screw inside.
I love the logic behind that though.
Yeah, so I was thinking of doing that with a cross cube and just making it would basically be pointless, but you just have these little faces.
Well, that'd technically be a 1x1 cross cube, which would be a completion of the series, and you could sell it to Super Antonio Vivaldi.
Yep, I probably could.
Yeah, you could.
Kind of want to work on that now. I have an extra Guanlong. I was gonna use this for a modding series, but these are so cheap. I'll just get some more. When I first ordered them, I didn't know what I was going to be using them for. I turned 2 of them into this fuse tube, and I think I'm going to turn this one into a 1x1 cross cube.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make one right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to fill it and everything?
Probably not gonna fill it.
Oh. Well, I don't have a screwdriver on me, and this thing is ridiculously tight. So, ow. Okay. Where's the screwdriver? What? Why can I never find any of my tools? I had them like a day ago, and now they're gone.
I have a drawer. I have a tool drawer.
Yeah, well, my drawer got moved like to the other side of the room, so I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can reach for it. All my cubes are on the floor right now.
It's like that scene from the beginning of Raiders.
Oh yeah.
It's like being careful to walk around everything so it doesn't step on the wrong thing.
Oh, okay. It's not in that drawer. Darn it. Where has it gone? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll just like break one of the pieces and just rip it off. It's like, I want to see if I can pop out a corner maybe. Yep, I broke it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this thing.
Damn. Oh, damn.
Oh, there we go. Got it.
That's
right,
painful.
Whatever. I have extra pieces, so I don't really care.
I know. I have enough extra pieces to make a lot of Guanlongs. Is anyone saying anything in chat? Because I literally can't see it. Faster on the delivery.
What's the most creative shape mod to mod a 3x3 into that you can think of?
I would say Rubik Dodecahedron. It's a sort of involved mod. You know, you end up with a really interesting looking puzzle. It would be fun to try, and you end up with a really interesting shape. It's a 12 color scheme on a 3x3, so that'd definitely be something fun to try. And it also saves you whatever the price of an armadillo cube is, because they're effectively identical.
I see. Yeah, it looks like the core is exactly the same width as one of the pieces. So
yeah, it is exactly the same width. Yeah.
Okay. So there we go. 1x1 cross cube. Now I just have to fill all the pieces. All right. If someone were to manufacture your mod, which would it be? The puzzle or the mod that I would hope would be manufactured of mine is the X Cube barrel. I think that could.
I actually do think that is well within the possibilities to be manufactured.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of contacting Calvin and seeing what he thought. But yeah.
I would love to have my Gigamoid mass produced, or well, it'd be the Gigamoid because I didn't technically make the Megamoid. That was actually someone else who was also very conveniently named Nathan. So I'd love to see the Gigamoid get mass produced.
Someone just asked me if you could make a clock barrel. Here's the thing.
Clock is kind of a barrel. Actually, no, technically it's a puck.
Okay, yeah.
Puck is when the height is shorter than the width.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Although,
Anyways.
if the Gigamoid was to be mass produced, the credit would also have to be partially put out to Tyler Fox, the original inventor of the Gigamix. So I'm sure it'd be technically a collaborative effort.
So, you know what else I wanted to do, which I was telling Nathan about, is make a modding series of making giant 3x3 mods with these. I think it would be
Oh,
fun.
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually getting one in a couple of weeks. It should arrive. Because I selected really slow shipping because I'm cheap, and I'm gonna try something like that too. I'm not gonna do anything simple though. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more of an in-depth one.
Okay, so someone actually just asked about a cross cube sphere, a cross cube ball, and we were talking about
Yeah.
this last night. It is possible, but it's not gonna look the way that
The
most of you are
problem with
probably
that is
thinking.
the faces aren't going to meet up just like the X barrel.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
what it's
yeah.
called. Sorry, I forgot. The problem is that it's not going to meet up the way you would think. The reason behind that is on a spherical puzzle, what would happen is the free turning faces on the exterior would actually be circular, and you'd end up exposing a very strange shaped internal part of the mechanism. It would still be functional. You'd effectively just expose the inner 3x3 that all of the free turning faces were hooking into.
Mm-hmm.
So it would still look cool and it would still function, but it's not going to meet up perfectly like the X barrel does.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna screen share real fast and show you. This is the picture that he sent me, kind of explaining. This is kind of what it would look like. So
Yeah.
this would be like all of the inner pieces of the cross cube, and then these would be the faces that turn. So this is kind of what it would what it would look like.
Well, you could do like a Sunwinder and you could make all of those bits gold. So
Yeah,
one of his original mods. I miss Sunwinder. He was great. He was the first channel comment I ever had.
really.
Yeah.
Um. All right. Make a 9x9 cutter cube. Oh no.
That'd be a great puzzle to try, but the annoying thing with cutter cubes is they're kind of like n by n puzzles. The more you scale up, the longer and more drawn out the solve is, and the less you really learn
Mm-hmm.
in terms of solving strategy. So it'd be a fun puzzle to try. It's kind of like the 11x11 barrel or the 9x9 barrel. It's more
Mm-hmm.
of a for show piece than it is an actual solve.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Have you ever considered making a higher order spherical puzzle?
Well, the only spherical puzzles I've ever made are Megaminxes. Now, the reason that I did that is because with a Megaminx, you would have 12 faces that turn, so you end up being able to make a sphere a lot easier than you would with a 3x3, which has only 6 turnable faces. But I would consider making both a 3x3 sphere and possibly some higher order ones as well, because I do like the look of those puzzles, particularly Tripum's new 6x6 sphere, which I think looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm. 5x5 ball. That's what people are saying now. Yeah.
That'd be fun. Yeah, 5x5 ball. I might try that sometime.
Never done a ball before. I feel like I'd screw it up, but I don't know. Um,
What is a really cool puzzle?
make a dino cube with an intellectual cube design with carbon fiber core and a triangular intellectual cubic screws.
What
Um,
classifies as a dino puzzle? That's corner turning that doesn't intersect the center. So you'd end up with a series of internal dino cuts that would move inwards. So that puzzle is possible.
oh, I see.
In fact, I'm going to talk to Gregoire about that after we stop streaming.
Okay.
That'll be
Unpillow
fun.
13 by 13. I was thinking
That's
about
possible.
that actually, and extending one out to make it a square 13 by 13. And actually, Tripum has done it with the Yushin 11 by 11, but right before the Shengxiao came out, and
Which was funny.
his almost looks better than the Shengxiao 11 by 11. I mean,
Yeah, it's actually funny. There's an unstickered picture of it where you can clearly see the areas that have been extended outwards and the areas that have been cut inwards. And it's a fantastic build. And I was really impressed with the quality behind it. It looks fantastic.
mm-hmm.
I think that
Yeah.
that could be done with a 13 by 13, similar to what Tony Fisher did with the 7 by 7 when the original VQ one was out.
Mm-hmm. What's the tiniest piece in one of your modded puzzles? I don't know.
The tiniest piece in one of my modded puzzles, that would have to be one of the one of the centerpieces in my 3x5x5. They are tiny. They're very small.
Yeah, you know what the smallest mod that I have is if I can find it, I think I know where it is. So, yep, here it is. I found a dice that was black and had 4 sides, so I stickered it and made a 1x1 Pyraminx.
Oh, cool. Did you do it in 17 seconds like I did?
No,
Like that video I made?
but yeah, so this is technically the smallest puzzle that I have because the 1x1 is still bigger than this technically because it has 6 sides instead of 4.
And I don't have my 1x1s with me.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, actually, no, I did. I have this flash drive that I made with some leftover epoxy. I don't like having leftover epoxy. That's why I have the ball of shame. It's just this big ball of epoxy that I just look at every now and then, and it makes me feel really bad about wasting epoxy. I often look at it, this huge chunk, and think, how many pieces could I fill with this? Like, Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Be cool if you could like heat up epoxy and have it melt again.
Yeah, it's a shame it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Somebody asked about a Megaminx ball. I have 4 of them.
Wow, I have one that I made myself, and I haven't stickered it.
I still have the three rare ones that are like kind of transparent.
Oh, what, the metallic ones? Oh, no, the transparent ones.
So the transparent and then the red one and the blue one, which are all like slightly transparent. So I have these, and then I have the normal one, which is actually a stickered like a Hexaminx.
So, oh yeah, that's cool. That's how I stickered my my first one that I made.
Mm-hmm. Barrel skew. Has that been done before?
That has been done before, and there are 2 variations of that. The first is to have the corner as the centerpiece on the top, so you actually cut off flat at the corner, and then you end up with effectively a bisecting cut straight through the center. And then the second is similar to the way that I barrel the end-by-end puzzles, which is to have the skewb face on top and all of the skewb cuts around.
So it has been done before.
It has been done before. It's also been done with the Master Skewb. Crazy Bad Cube has got a video of that on his channel. You should definitely go check that out.
Yeah. Is the process for barreling a cube much different from making it into a sphere? Could a beginner make a sphere puzzle? Well, the thing is with that is that I've seen like all of Tony Fisher's videos about making spherical puzzles. He never uses a belt sander. And I don't think you
very Dremel orientated.
Yeah, it's like, but with a barrel, you basically just stick it on the belt sander and let it spin around until it gets to that shape.
Like you learn pretty quick that you can vary the speed by squeezing, and you get a very, very precise cylinder. The problem with using the same method for a sphere is that you never want to hold the puzzle steady on that one turning axis because you'll always end up with a barrel. You have to keep moving it, and it's much easier to have the puzzle held steady and to use a Dremel instead, because then you effectively have more control over how you're shaping the puzzle. And it does take time, and I'm not sure if a beginner could do it straight up, but I would still recommend it to try, because if you don't try, you don't learn.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. What I notice whenever I'm doing a barrel is whenever I try to spin it around, it's very hard for me to put my fingers in the very middle, and it ends up just spinning out of my hands. Like,
yeah, I had a problem with that when I tried. I'm still working on my 8x8 barrel, and I found that I just have to take a much slower approach and hold on to it more tightly.
Yeah, but then what I realized is, let's say I was going to make a 9x9 barrel, what I could do is take out the center caps and then basically be able to hold it. Like
that's exactly what I did with this 9x9 barrel.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I just have one of.
A barrel Pyraminx? Is that possible?
Yeah, that's possible, although there'd be a lot of extending. Do you know what you could try? If you look at Tony Fisher's original Cubaminx, the one that didn't have the free-turning corner bits, you could theoretically take that and transform that into a barrel. So
really, Cubaminx, is that what it's called, or
Cubo Minx?
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can find
one
that.
of his early videos. It's a fantastic looking puzzle. I was working on one with free turning corner bits, but I stopped it because it's I just haven't started it.
Oh yeah, that one. That was a cool one.
Yeah, it
Um,
is, and it's funny because whenever you say to someone that I tried to make a pyramid into a cube, they always think of a cube, but in fact, it's a very different mechanism.
Now, see, that puzzle actually kind of made me think if a turnable one by one is possible, where you can turn kind of like a cube, um,
Yeah,
and which basically it would be that, but without the other corner sections that could turn. Um,
effectively, yes. And I was just thinking, did Red KB make? No, he made something similar to that. You could
the
the Dos Equis cube.
uh-huh.
You could still theoretically make a puzzle like that. It'd be actually
Hmm.
it might have a solving strategy because you'd have to match up the colors, so it wouldn't be as intuitive as you think it is.
Hmm.
It'd still
Yeah,
be
yeah.
very easy,
I
but
actually made a Dos Equis cube too, except I called it
did
the
you?
Icebox cube. Yeah. Um, and
You should
originally
make a
it
one. You should
wasn't
make a one by one Fisher cube.
really. I
I
really
got
should.
asked that the other day, and I just didn't bother explaining to them why that doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah. um. Oh no, Yada Mink's barrel. Please no. Don't
You see,
make me
here's the
do that.
problem with these suggestions. You see, they always suggest us to modify cubes that aren't mass produced. I will never modify a 3D printed puzzle because I might as well have just 3D printed it that way in the first place, and I've already sunk too much money into it. I'm only ever going to
Hmm.
modify puzzles that are mass produced. One, because they're easy to access. Two, because you guys can try it as well if you really, really want to. And three, it's just my kind of deal.
Hmm. Yeah, I thought about that too. I was like, if I ever got a 3D printed puzzle, there's no way I'd go and mod it. Um. All right. Let's see. How much do you think you've spent on all of your puzzles combined? A lot.
Don't make me think
Actually,
about that.
I answered that in a video a little while ago. I think it was like I think I said it was like $3,000 or $4,000.
Oh, I've sunk more than $5,000, no problem.
Oh man, a 4x4x6 barrel. That's definitely possible, but I just don't know how good it would look. Uh,
Yeah, though that's possible. If a 4x4 by 6 Fisher cube, which we know Dan Fuss did, that's possible, and that's also a great puzzle. So a barrel of that is also perfectly possible. In fact, it'd look almost no different to a 4x4 apart from the two extra layers, and could be treated
mhm.
as such in the modification process.
Yep. I was thinking of a 5x5 Fisher cube, and I didn't think it had been done before, but I realized that it had, which
Not
is
only has it been
annoying.
done, but also a 3 by 5 by 5 Fisher cube has been done.
Oh yeah. Um, Idea for a shape mod: extend square pyramids on each side of a 3x3 so when it's finished, it's still a cube, but the face turns look like corner turns. Um,
Oh yeah, that would be cool. That'd be like basically putting a paramorphic corner on each center.
mhm.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, I think that'd be possible though.
I think that'd be possible, but I think that would look weird. But it'd probably look a little bit more like an octahedron now that I think about it, because then an octahedron would have the geometry to have the corners at the centers. If it was a paramorphics, then it would still have centers as edges. But that's still pretty cool. So that's like a fused puzzle, kind of like that skewed dodecahedron mixed with the regular skewb that they were selling at Methods
Yeah,
a
yeah.
few years back.
Easiest 3x3 mod. Definitely the Siamese cube, but one that's just involves one 3x3 is probably like an
I would
octagonal
say an
barrel or something.
octagonal barrel, but you do have to fill it. And some people usually come to me and say, "Well, I don't want to fill it because I don't know where to get it." It's like if you're not going to take the time to get the epoxy and try it, then you're not going to do it. So
You can
there's no
always
point
try
in filling about
capping,
it.
but the problem with trying to cap is that you have to kind of recess the pieces down in so that that you can kind of counter the thickness of the cap, which
Yeah,
makes it annoying. Um,
but I would definitely say to try an octagonal barrel, and if you succeed with that, then try a Fisher cube because they're basically just it's basically just the next step of the
yeah, yeah.
octagonal barrel.
And what I would also recommend trying is instead of extending, actually using the little bits that you cut off as the extensions.
I was told about that, but I found that it was hard to keep track of all of them when you cut them off, and if you lose one piece, then you may think that it's all over. So I prefer just to extend, but it is still possible to
Yeah,
do
the
it that
problem with
way.
that is that you basically there's no real easy way because you have to sand it down to the right length, and then there's
That's
no
correct.
real
Yeah.
easy way to do that consistently for each piece. But the problem is that epoxy makes it super heavy. Um,
I like the weight of epoxy. I like a heavy puzzle in my hands. I just prefer it that way. With
mhm.
something like a really big puzzle, though, like the 9x9 barrel or the pediment, it does kind of start to strain your hands a little bit when you're just playing around with it, or even when you're sanding it. I found that I get a lot of wrist strain with this, but it's. I just prefer it that way.
Hmm.
I like the heavy puzzle. It feels like someone's modded it. It doesn't feel like it's just been mass produced.
Sphere square one.
Sphere Square One is easy impossible. That can be done.
Um,
I don't think it has been done though, although I may be wrong.
Look at my phone. Oh man, someone texted me.
Is that how like your mother contacts you? She goes into your stream.
um,
Look at your phone. I've been trying to call you for 12 minutes.
all right. Um,
Very nice phone you got there.
do a one by one solve. That would take too long. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah. That I'll put that. I'll list that next to my 1x1 tutorial. Oh. Okay, I'll get more hate messages.
oh man, it's funny going to my one by one unboxing and seeing how split the comment section is about the people who know it's a joke and the people who are so confused.
My 1x1 tutorial, the comment section was cancer. I had to remove all comments and not allow
Yeah,
comments on that video. It was terrible.
yeah. Um, all right. Ghost Cube barrel that is mass produced.
That is mass produced, and it
Um,
also looks great.
mm-hmm.
Just don't say Ghost Cube Sphere.
oh no. I wonder how many people. Okay, if you think that a ghost cube sphere is like an actual puzzle modding idea that you would say, like, oh, you should make a ghost cube sphere, then put it
Yeah,
in the
it's
chat. And I just want to
like
see how many people actually think that that's a real thing.
well, see, the thing is that I kind of understand how a lot of people wouldn't understand the geometry of puzzles and specifically why that wouldn't work, but it's still kind of I don't even know how to say. I don't want to sound condescending, so I'm not gonna
I
say any
know,
more
I
about
know.
that.
It
But it's
seems like
like
there's. I'm
it doesn't
seeing.
work.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people saying ghost cube sphere now, and I'm wondering if,
That's
like,
the equivalent of doing an axis cube sphere.
yeah, like, do people actually think that that's possible?
Like the whole point of the puzzle is that it is rotated within its cubic geometry. So if you take the cube away, it's a 3x3.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
same with the Fisher cube if the fissured part isn't on the side. If the Fisher cube part is on the top of a barrel, it's just a regular barrel. You have to,
Hmm.
but it is that is still possible though.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's like I get those comments sometimes, and it's like, no, that's just not possible. um, all right. Yeah, Fisher ball,
Fisher ball.
mirror cube barrel. That would actually be cool.
Mirror cube barrel has been done before. I'm pretty sure Tryphon did that.
Oh, really? The problem with that is that there's no way you'd be able to misalign the layers to, make it,
That is true.
you know. So in theory, it's possible, but it would be hard. Um,
There are a lot of mods that are possible. I don't like to say a modification is impossible because I know someone will prove me wrong. So I usually say that it's possible but difficult.
mhm.
There are some impossible ones though.
Axis Fisher cube barrel. No.
Well, technically the crazy Fisher would be an Axis Fisher cube, and you could barrel that.
hmm Um, Lego cube ball. How in the world would you? How in the world would that work?
I think it'll work, but I don't think it would be a ball and B able to be bandaged like the Lego 3x3 that you
Yeah,
have
but how
here
would
on
you
the desk.
put like the Lego tiles on it if it's a ball?
Well, like I said, it probably wouldn't look like a ball. Like you could just super glue a whole bunch of Lego pieces to it, no problem.
Yeah. um, are you going to Australian Nationals?
I will be going to Australian Nationals, yes.
Um, Nathan is starting to make more and more sense to me as he talks. Can you give us an example of an impossible mod? Um, hmm. A mod that just isn't like feasible, or one that's not like that's really
Hmm.
stupid. Because like a really stupid mod is a ghost cube barrel, like we just said. Um, but like,
That's a good question. There is a point in extensions where things start to become impossible, and I'm just going to bring it back to my Cubaminx that I was working on. This is a speed bump that I had, and you see the problem is that there is an area of the geometry where at some point mid-turn all pieces have to accommodate at some point. In its solved state, they don't sit there, but during a turn, they may have to move into this void or cavity, and because of that you can't actually extend into it, so you have to either A, cover over it with caps, or B, just leave it open. But you get to a point where you can extend pieces out to where there is no space left to actually place a cap on, so it could taper to a point, and then you end up being unable to fill that area without constricting movement of the puzzle. It's a little hard to get your head around, but it is what effectively would make a shape mod an impossible puzzle. Not unless you had removable pieces that you could just kind of clip back in with magnets or something at the end.
hmm um, yeah, what I was thinking of is like the 10 by 10 barrel without extensions, because that you
That would be
actually
possible, but that would be unstable.
no, you'd cut into the mech. Um, the mech of the 10 by 10 is actually very close to the edge, so like you would actually cut into the inner pieces, and it would just fall apart. At least I'm pretty sure it would. If not, it would be very unstable and would pop probably a lot. A concave ball. How is that? How would that even work?
Well, if you take, say, mathematically, a concave ball would actually be a treasure chest, Oscar's treasure chest, which is a cube with a spherical cavity in the center, if you think about the mathematics of it. But in terms of an actual concave sphere and the way that people are thinking, it'd be kind of like your concave puzzle there, but with mirroring spherical geometry on the pieces, so that it'd have like an anti-sphere cavity in each piece,
Okay.
which would also be difficult
Mm-hmm.
because they would coincide with each other probably. It's kind of like making a hypercube.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have access to a fourth dimension, so.
um, have you ever eaten kangaroo?
Yes, I have, and it is delicious. I've
um,
actually, I don't know if people want to hear this, but I've hunted and caught kangaroo, um, and it is very, very, very delicious indeed.
Interesting. I really want to try it.
It's
um,
real nice.
okay. Oh no, three three by three with off-center holes drilled into the center caps.
Oh God, I'm never gonna hear the end of that. For God's sakes.
Oh
Yeah, I
no.
know. Like my eyes aren't as precise as I'd like them to be, and and I totally made a complete murder of that puzzle. Yeah.
Hmm. Um, just got a 7x7 and a Gigaminx yesterday. I'm not sure if I should scramble them, and if I were to scramble them, which would I scramble first? The 7x7.
Gigaminx, Gigaminx, no,
7x7.
dodecahedron, Gigaminx.
No,
The
7x7.
fake, no, the Minx puzzles, man. Team Minx,
No.
dodecahedrons, hoorah!
All right, fine. 13 by 13 Fisher barrel. Oh gosh.
That is also possible. Like I said with my Fisher, with the example of the Fisher barrel before, as long as you have the fissured section on the side, so you have like the X part of the Fisher cube on the side of the cylindrical barrel,
Hmm.
then you can still make barrel puzzles. It's only if the fissured part is on the top and you barrel it that you end up with what is effectively just a regular cubic version
Yeah,
of a barrel.
yeah, yeah. I kind of want to do that with a higher order puzzle, like a 4x4, the four by
I
four
would
Fisher
recommend doing
cube.
it with a 5x5 because you'd end because it's easier than with all of the internals of a 4x4. That's something that I try and avoid because all of the internal pieces of a 4x4 you might as well just be modifying a 5x5. You know,
Hmm.
because all of that disassembly and reassembly, that's just the way I see it. I'm like the even puzzle Nazi.
I see.
I hate them.
um, uh, someone just said a 3x7x3 possible. That's just a 3x3x7. That's weird.
That's possible.
Yeah. In fact, it's being mass
I
produced
think you, yeah,
by.
it has to be mass produced. I think you have one actually.
Well, it's a proportional one is being mass produced soon by
Oh yeah,
Ribbon.
don't worry. It was only unproportional up until then.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually something that I had a real problem with. The mass-produced 3x9 was did not behave like a regular 3x9 would, and I was
Really?
actually rather annoyed with it. Yeah, if you take a look at the center three layers, they accommodate the same space as a single layer on the 3x3. So
Hmm.
you would be able to move the three of those pieces together in the 3x3 scramble, whereas in the actual 3x9 that was proportional, you would only be able to move the centerpiece. So you'd end up with a slightly different solve, and I was rather annoyed by that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh man, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's a problem that I've always kind of really hated the puzzle for that. Because it is not true to the functionality. I
Hmm.
suppose you could just not do those moves, but people do those moves, and it
Hmm.
bothers me.
Why has no one made a 7x7x4 yet? Because that would be really hard.
Well, people are still making all of the cuboids. You know, there's a lot of cuboids that are still being made. There's one guy that keeps requesting that I build a 4x5x5 on my channel, and I will get around to that at some point, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. But he just recently made a 6x6x5, which is, even though it was hand modded, I do believe it is the first.
Hmm.
And you know, there's a lot of cuboids out there that are still being made. People think they've all been done, but they haven't. There's a hell of a lot to be made still.
Well, you know what's interesting about the 4x5x5 is that can be made either from a 5x5 or a 4x4.
That
Like,
is correct, yeah. In
um,
fact, I think it'd be easier to make it from a 4x4 than a 5x5, although it would be not proportional. Well, I
no,
mean,
it would.
you could make it
No, yeah.
proportional, but it would be annoying.
Yeah, the mass-produced 5x5x4 has an Ishin 4x4 mech.
Yeah.
Basically, then same with the 4x4x5, which is obviously you're just extending along one axis, but the
Yeah.
4x4x4 is
Effectively, yeah.
along two axes, basically. So, yeah. Um, all right, let's see. Seems like a lot of these questions are getting pretty repetitive, so I'm not sure. We have been streaming for close to an hour and a half. So, usually I just stream for about an hour, so we might go ahead and wrap this up pretty soon. Uh, any other question? If there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But I think we're gonna wrap them up soon. Um, yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. Um, all right, yeah. So that pretty much concludes it for this stream. Thank you to Nathan for coming on and answering all of your questions. It was a lot of
No
fun.
problem.
Um, so yeah, definitely go subscribe to his channel if you have not already. There's a lot of awesome videos about modding if you want to get into modding.
And
And
one coming out tonight as well.
yes, so if you want some tutorials and just information on how to build puzzles, then you should definitely check out his channel. Um, so anyway, that about does it for this live stream. And I will hopefully be having a video up this Saturday. So um, But yeah, and actually, I'm not. I might actually be streaming again on Saturday, and I'm thinking of doing a live stream of solving every single one of my puzzles. I think
Oh,
that
Jesus,
that
dude.
might be a fun one, and I think it'll take a better part of a day. So if you guys are down for like an 8-hour live stream, then let me know. um, anyway,
Oh,
so
that's crazy.
so yeah, thank you guys for coming on, and we'll see you next time. So
See you guys later.
bye.
Bye.